Mountains can be full of surprises, and sometimes nature flexes its raw power in the most unexpected ways. Today, we've gathered 50 of the most jaw-dropping rock slides ever caught on camera. Moments that will leave you in awe and remind us just how unpredictable the Earth can be. Imagine driving peacefully when suddenly an entire section of a cliff collapses before your eyes. That's exactly what happened to a driver in Sausalito, California. A 3-meter-high rock formation crumbled, crushing smaller rocks beneath it. The driver must have been thanking the universe for escaping unscathed. A man in Taipei was returning home after celebrating Chinese New Year when disaster nearly struck. A colossal rock, moving as fast as a cannonball, missed his car by just 1 meter. His lucky escape turned a festive night into a moment of sheer horror. In the towering Alps of northern Italy, workers were preparing land for new apartments. But nature had other plans. A massive rock formation collapsed onto the site, crushing machinery. Fortunately, no one was hurt, but this footage is a chilling reminder of why geological surveys are crucial before construction. Tourists visiting Iceland's black sand beaches were caught off guard when massive rock formations suddenly detached and plunged into the Atlantic. Luckily, no one was in their path. In La Paz, Bolivia, an entire unauthorized housing district built on unstable land was buried in a landslide. 66 homes vanished in seconds. This tragedy reminds us why urban planning and safety precautions are crucial. A man and his husky, Rio, were walking a mountain trail when the ground began shifting. An unstoppable landslide swallowed the slope, sweeping poor Rio hundreds of meters down. Miraculously, the resilient pup emerged unscathed, shaken but alive. Two drivers in Himachal Pradesh, India, were navigating heavy rains when a monstrous landslide erupted in front of them. Had they been driving just a little faster, they would have been buried under the debris. Quick reflexes saved them from disaster.
ये गई पहाड़ी ये भी।
In the breathtaking Himalayas, rock slides are a constant threat. One terrifying video shows climbers scrambling for their lives as massive chunks of stone hurtle down unpredictably. In Yemen, one of the most powerful rock slides ever captured on video sent enormous boulders tumbling onto a busy road. Fortunately, it was a relatively small landslide. Any bigger, and the outcome could have been devastating. In New Zealand's Southern Alps, a seemingly small movement triggered a domino effect, causing an entire mountainside to collapse. It's surreal. Rocks that stood firm for thousands of years suddenly giving way in mere seconds. A Malaysian driver barely escaped disaster when he stopped to record an unusual shaking on the mountain above. Within seconds, the entire slope gave way, swallowing the road he had been driving on just moments before. To prevent an even more dangerous collapse, Norwegian engineers detonated explosives along an unstable rock face. The controlled explosion sent boulders tumbling safely into the valley below, saving roads and buildings from destruction. A terrifying event in Colombia showed hills crumbling like sand, demolishing everything in their path. Fortunately, no lives were lost, but the sheer scale of destruction is haunting. Heavy rainfall in Switzerland triggered a destructive mudslide that wiped out roads and bridges, isolating entire villages. The footage captured shows homes teetering on the edge, while emergency workers struggled to assess the damage. A picturesque Chilean town near the Pacific Ocean turned into a scene of chaos when an entire cliffside collapsed into the sea. Fortunately, no one was harmed.
Wow!
The beautiful yet unstable coastline of Hastings suffered a catastrophic cliff collapse, sending tons of rock into the sea. Tourists capturing the moment on video were left in shock as the ground beneath them cracked and gave way. A group of tourists hiking in New Zealand's mountains had a heart-stopping moment when a giant boulder tumbled down the trail, just meters from them. Their quick thinking and fast reflexes saved them from being crushed. Iceland's glaciers often release massive chunks of ice that crash into the ocean. When one such icefall was caught on camera, it sent a towering wave across the water, showing the raw power of nature. A peaceful riverbed turned into a chaotic disaster when a landslide sent massive boulders tumbling into the water. The sudden impact caused a massive wave, altering the river's course temporarily and leaving the surrounding area in turmoil. One of the most infamous rockslides in recent years took place on Mount Rainier, a towering stratovolcano in the US. The collapse was so massive that seismographs detected the event. Imagine cruising down the highway when suddenly a boulder the size of a garage blocks the road. That's what happened in Colorado, forcing authorities to bring in heavy machinery just to clear the path. A team of climbers attempting to scale a Himalayan peak suddenly found themselves in a life-or-death situation. A rock slide roared down the slope, forcing them to scramble for cover as boulders crashed all around them. Geologists had been monitoring an unstable rock face in Alaska for months before it finally gave way. The landslide was so massive that it sent dust and debris flying for miles, completely altering the landscape. An earthquake-prone region of Nepal experienced a massive landslide that was so powerful it registered on seismographs worldwide. The footage captured shows a cascade of rocks obliterating everything in its path. Workers at a construction site in Canada had no warning before a massive section of the cliff above them gave way. The landslide sent rocks crashing down, causing damage to equipment and forcing workers to flee the scene. A hillside community in Brazil suffered a devastating landslide after days of heavy rain. Entire houses were buried under the debris, and rescue efforts were launched to search for any survivors trapped beneath the rubble. Hikers in the U.S. were left stranded when an unexpected rockslide completely covered a popular hiking trail. With no way to continue or turn back, they had to be rescued by emergency responders. The infamous Mount St. Helens showed signs of activity once again, as a massive rock avalanche tumbled down its slopes. Scientists believe this was due to underground movements still reshaping the volcano decades after its eruption. A busy expressway in Japan came to a standstill when a mountainside suddenly gave way, burying the road in tons of debris. Cleanup efforts took weeks as geologists worked to stabilize the area to prevent future collapses. A small farming village in Mexico experienced a catastrophic mudslide that wiped out crops and homes. Farmers who had lived there for generations were forced to relocate due to the unstable land. One of the most scenic roads in the world, California's Pacific Coast Highway, was completely blocked when a rockslide sent tons of debris crashing onto the pavement. During the monsoon season, an Indian mountain town experienced a series of dangerous rock falls. Entire roads were buried, and travelers were stranded for days before the debris could be cleared. A remote river in Russia was dramatically altered when a rock avalanche blocked its course. The sudden shift in the landscape forced the water to carve a new path, flooding nearby areas. A breathtaking coastal view in Indonesia quickly turned into a dangerous situation when a massive cliffside collapsed into the ocean. Tourists ran for their lives as debris scattered along the shore. Authorities in Bhutan finally closed a treacherous mountain road after repeated rock slides made it impossible to maintain. A massive rock slide in Siberia was so intense that it triggered seismic readings. The force of the collapse was comparable to a small earthquake, shaking buildings in nearby towns. Villagers in Thailand were left in shock as they filmed a nearby mountain slowly crumbling. The slow-moving landslide continued for hours, eventually forcing an evacuation as more sections of the mountain gave way. A construction crew working in Scotland had to run for their lives when an unstable rock face collapsed right before their eyes. Fortunately, no one was injured, but their equipment was buried under tons of rock. The Antarctic landscape changed dramatically when a glacier broke apart, sending not just ice, but massive chunks of rock tumbling into the ocean. Scientists studying climate change captured the event on camera. Which of these rock slides shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more incredible moments caught on camera.